Hey family, how's it going? MC Fire here. Oh, let me get this out of the way. MC Fire here. Coming at you again with another video. We're looking at the markets one more time, and we are noticing that it is the second. Yay! So we made it to the second. According to new administration, they started out by saying this is Liberation Day, Freedom Day, whatever you want to call it, and Freedom Day looks like red. So this new administration talked about tariffs and instituting tariffs and starting a new organization that's primarily focused on the use of tariffs to protect U.S. businesses. Looking a little heavy right now. And so the market kind of reacts on that, which is negative. That's kind of been the theme overall since the double test here at 539 on the Qs. And then for the SPY, almost mirrored story with the double test at 609. Right, a little break above relative strength there, but kind of the same deal, right? So sharper drop there, testing the pivot low, and then the market opens in about a minute. So we'll just kind of wait for the market open. We did take a position in Charter, full disclosure. So we'll see how that plays out. We do have a stop loss on. We do have a stop loss. Do have a take profit, so to speak. We can kind of go over that now. We like a top-down approach, so we'll bring up the weekly first, and then work our way down to the 5-minute, 1 minute. So as you can see, 21 period moving average is up. Tapped the support. Kind of bounced off of. We do have earnings coming up, but as you have already noticed, Charter earnings are increasing steadily. So this earnings, when kind of we made this major play here, rolling it 4 times, we believe that Charter Cable could also advance higher, at least if it's going to tap this support. We have a potential to continue. It's in play. It's potentially in play. You got D. Take a look at that. We did get in a little high though. Had to actually chase a little bit because we put the order in like a limit order and didn't get filled. I noticed it a little later, so we'll see how that shakes out here. We'll go take a look at I believe it's Dominion. Yep, Dominion. Nice break on Dominion there. Kind of same thing, new uptrend, and we'll punch over to the daily. On the daily, right, you get a nice little break above the high of that push. You also got a squeeze in play. So, Dominion, you could see potentially a couple of days where it trades back to pivot high off the rotation. Kind of continue the momentum play to the pivot there. That's just what I was thinking. Not necessarily something that I want to take, but as we are still a student of this business, we do want to be cognizant of things that have a high potential, or things that you see a move and say, I want to take this move, but I'm anticipating it developing into a and how likely is that to happen. So you could say, okay, this move off the low, I might have taken it off a setup candle, but how likely is it to continue after break, retest, and push to high? You can watch stuff like that. Just screen time is really important. We're going to bring some of the majors up. Go back to the Qs really quick. Like watching the Qs. So what we've noticed very day trading as opposed to swing trading. The levels obviously would be a little different, but what you're seeing is, excuse me, you're in a downtrend. This is an uptrend. This is a downtrend. Overall, right? Green up, red down. And ideally, you'd want to take the shakeouts to the upside, right? what I mean by shakeouts, if it pushes up, shakes out a lot of buyers, you might see an outsized green getting washed. So you have a trigger to the downside. See if I can bring up a example of that over here. Maybe zoom out. Okay, there's that day. Um, Something like this, maybe at a support level like VWAP. The green candle come in and then get immediately washed to the downside, trigger break, and you take that play to the downside. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Respecting all of your sellers at that point. You can see that happening. So yeah, also watching certain things that go against the overall trend, right? I know we talked yesterday about Philip Morris. Well, the rest of the market has been considerably down. Philip Morris has been absolutely on a tear, screaming higher. Stuff that you need to pay attention to. Um, Stuff that you need to pay attention to is what is screaming higher while the market is absolutely tanking, and that's where the money is. When you find a dip and stuff like that, definitely want to take the buy there for sure. We have GC also screaming absolutely screaming higher, pushing to relative highs, well past the 3 ATR mark for even gold there. It's kind of been the narrative for a minute. When you're looking at a macroeconomic of an inflationary narrative, this just kind of makes sense also because if there's going to be a price war for assets, which I believe there is, especially if you look at the real estate market. Um, if you just want to get your hands on assets, which one's going to be easier to get your hands on? You know, a $300,000 house or $300,000 worth of gold, right? It's going to be so much easier to get one versus the other. Less paperwork, less time, less people hassle. So assets in an inflationary narrative, this one is a hyper catalyst. The whole world is looking to buy. Central banks around the world have been buying it for like the last 5, 10 years, pretty steadily. The U.S. is about to reevaluate its gold holdings. We could see what would come about with that. I'm sure that there's going to be some things done with that, maybe to put on the balance sheet that are assets versus our liabilities, or to loan against it as gold as collateral. That could be a thing, or to trade it in to alleviate the debt. I wouldn't advise that um, because you essentially lose the asset. You're trading the asset to alleviate the debt to the Fed. I wouldn't do that though, personally. I think that's a silly way to do business because, well, you lose all your assets. Price of Apple. Okay. Take a look at Boeing. Didn't mean to hit that. Sorry. Going back. Hit the charts here. So Boeing taking some heat here as it and tests this level. Doesn't really like that level too much. We do invite the opportunity for Boeing to sell off here a little bit. It's the opportunity to take the dip buy off here. We'll bring that to the front of the classroom on the daily. Nice little red candle set in on a rotational play that got washed. Boom. Very, very nice rotation there. It rotates off of this bottom though, but it's not like within it. Ideally, you'd want to see the rotation between this level and this level. It just kind of falls to the floor and it'll find support, right? So I call it rotation because of its back and forth motion. But true rotation is something like this, where it's rotating between support and resistance, and then it goes imbalanced, and then it goes back trend up to the upside after finding support there. You got to be kind of mindful of stuff like this because if you're it's happening in real time, they don't necessarily always have to go back to your support or have to go to your resistance. They could be like this. The move might pivot in no man's land. Move might pivot in no man's land. So you just got to be watchful. This is why I like the outsized candle system because you're letting the market tell you what it's doing in real time by the candle. You're not imposing your preconceived um, thought process on the markets, even with the trend lines. That's the problem I kind of did have with trend lines, especially when I put up a auto trend line maker. A lot of times the trend lines would shift, and it made me think, I was like, man, if the trend lines are shifting, then people's sentiment has to be shifting. So how do I calibrate that to the candle? Like, how do I see it in real time? Well, you see it with the outsized candle. People's sentiment might be shifting here or shifting here, right? You might see a shift in no man's land. It shifted. There was no outsized candle, but at least you get, with our system, you get a heads up. Like, hey, there's a heads up that, yeah, people bought, but what is that? They immediately get washed with emphasis to the downside. So something to watch out there. And we're looking forward on the Qs, right? Has the potential to get kind of down here to this support level. I'm completely expecting it to do so. I do want to preface right now, we're looking to um, do some long term buys at this period. We are hoping, believe it or not, that the market gets down to 3 ATR. Doesn't look like it wants to do that today, this morning. We'll kind of fast forward here so you can see it. Market's only been open for a couple minutes, and already is catching these guys off sides. Come on. The chart doesn't want to cooperate with me this morning. It is what it is. You see all this selling overnight. Nice little gap from highs here, gap here, boom, boom. Right. So because of the gap, any kind of buying pressure will, you got a combination of, if you're a short seller, you are already in profit. So uh, executing the gap makes sense. If you're a long trader, you're feeding off the momentum of those short sellers, coming off their positions, and so you get this gap fill, potentially a gap fill, pretty straightforward play. So we'll see this gap fill. More than likely, it's already kind of halfway there, and it probably will continue. But it's a pretty large gap when you consider it. Right, gap kind of setting in right here, so it's already well over halfway there. So I anticipate it will fill the gap, and then you can make a determination what you want to do with the right tools. After it crosses here, you can say, okay, I'll take the call. Right, boom. Immediately with a stop out of the low. Super efficient. Take two standard deviations, and call it there. And then that would have been a really juicy trade. But we're looking to get trading view here in the future, and or Ninja Trader in the future, excuse me, and be able to do stuff like that at the drop of a hat with futures contracts. That is in the works. You haven't forgot about that. It's just a couple other things are going on right now that we have to attend to. Partly my family's coming in town this week, so shout out to that. It's going to be setting up to be a red bar north, and will give you that unks to fill the gap, which is I think right here at the 470. So market rebounding really, really efficiently right now. Also, is great news for us in Charter Communications. Definitely have a position on here. Bought it a little high. Ideally, we would want to buy it off the break right here. Uh, got it a smidge late, but again, our target is at 385.14 on the swing there. Based off of this set of candle on the daily. Um, the red setup candle here. Nice hammer into support after the break. We took it, and looking to first sign of danger right around here. You also consider that it's making advancing on the lows, off the lows there. It's really good stuff. And I think earnings. Let's go back. Earnings is coming up. Maybe Yeah, there it is. Earnings is coming up probably in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, we could see this move within the time frame. We typically advise 2 days to 3 weeks before you have to make a decision. Back here, it was almost every bit of 3 weeks, just about really 2 weeks from the initial buy in the butterfly, and then it took off. So really like this play, and if you guys have been with the channel that long, but this play worked out extremely well, extremely well, and thoroughly enjoyed that. Also thoroughly enjoy so far this play. It's in profit, and we're liking the company because profits are expanding, and they're trying to figure it out and trying to figure it out. So there you go. If they advance a little bit more, then we could see potential growth back up to the pivot. Not looking to put a butterfly on just yet, even though this candle is kind of the candle that we like to see. That hammer candle is pretty good, so we'll just keep an eye on that. We like tighter, really compact, tight, juicy, outsized candles, just to make butterflies and stuff like that on, because yeah, they really do pop pretty nicely. We can also bring to the front of the class some other stuff if it's on the lists. We didn't bring any in plays to you guys. There was some of the stuff that we talked about Monday, but that was mainly it. You also get the War ETF, which is the defense contract ETF, kind of in the slumper there. War is a business, but not really a business that makes a lot of money unless you go to war. So something to keep in mind. No new kids on the block. We'll look at some other ones that I pulled in. In the slot is one of my favorites. Companies that are kind of in a decent buying position just by by their deal, right? Where they are from a historical moving average standpoint. We can actually put them in and change positive or negative. That's how we're going to organize. We'll start with lows. We got lows and some other ones here. So let's start with lows. So on the weekly, right, pulling back into a pretty nice daily range, really. You see here pulling back to the 8-period moving average off support. Just something to watch. The ebbs and flows of lows seem pretty, in tandem with the downtrend. So you're seeing that by the moving average cross negative down back here, and now just kind of continuing. Plenty of opportunities to take the sell if you're in the lows. You do get a opportunity for a long-term buy, 3 ATR to buy here for at lows. So watch out for that. Actually might make a 3 ATR positive and negative scanner. Just so you know, like when things are at negative 3 ATR, especially in this environment. I think this is Charles Schwab. Yep, Mr. Schwabi. Mr. Schwabi not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. Kind of middle of the range there. That's why it would be in a decent buying opportunity. Now, it is currently negative, so we're going to mark that on our charts. It could change, but right now we just got to keep to what our rules are. It is negative for sure, Mr. Schwabi. And if Mr. Schwabi is negative, then we're looking for an outsized candle, green, right up, and to get washed. Don't have that. Wouldn't expect to see that. It would be in the in-play list. Now, this is something that could develop SCDG. If it develops long from this squeeze here, that could be pretty sweet. You do get a heads up with the outside candle from a couple days ago and the squeeze. So if you have a squeeze scanner on, cool. Now this thing is $16 and it's kind of holding there. But if we could see a new uptrend, which it is in, then outside candle to the downside getting washed would be pretty significant. Also, if they go positive on the earnings, that could be also pretty good as well. Would hurt, right? Cash flow is the lifeblood of any business, and with it pulling in like this, nice and tight, with a nice squeeze, firing to the upside could do it some good. So you can put some alerts on there if you'd like. EL, Esther Lauder. I guess consumer goods are down. Esther Lauder absolutely feeling the heat at $67 a share, all the way down from $374 a share. Make it make sense, right? Esther Lauder. Um, that's it's a bargain, but not really. Not in this environment. When consumer price index, the same people are really hurting. So something to pay attention to. You had a strong uptrend last year, very strong, and then when you get just absolutely tanking, selling off last couple of years. So something to watch out for. SRE 3 ATR buy potentially here if you're looking to be a long-term investor of Sapara Energy. As you guys know, we like to take our negative 3 ATR buys as along with trend changes. So those are pretty sweet. Unless you see an outsized candle and you want to make a decision. Good old Walmart there. We'll bring that to the front of the classroom. So you could say you get a couple shares of Walmart, kind of at the lows there, outsized candle. But we just were like, hey, this is Walmart. It's not going anywhere. People need somewhere to shop. And so this would be a good opportunity to buy off the dip. So could go lower. We're fully expecting more things to go lower. But getting yourself in the mindset and the framework, hey, you're going to start buying value here and putting your money together. Home Depot, very similar story. The retailer, I don't think will go under. It's the place of choice. Home Depot and Lowe's is a place of choice for people that are, getting housing and do DIY, which is probably going to be more in effect now. That if you got maintenance or something you need, you're probably going to have to do DIY. So I don't think this is going out of business. Could be look to be a pretty decent value buy. Off support 3 ATR could be pretty juicy. That buyback there would have been pretty sweet. JC earnings are still kind of positive. They're taking some hits though, but the economy is affecting everybody. But you got to think there's going to be some companies you're going to be able to get on the cheap, get really great value out of them. Home Depot, I think, is one of those. Walmart's one of those, and then some of the tech companies. Marathon in a pretty sustained downtrend, looking to short the rips. It's pretty straightforward here. I got green, gets washed to the downside. You gotta respect all your buyers. So from a technical standpoint, yeah, you get stopped out twice before it kind of rips to the downside, or peels to the downside, I should say, instead of rips. Kind of slowly peels to the downside. This is more of what you're looking for. Outside scan on the upside, nice little wash, and then nice flush, rotational flush there to the downside. Pretty much straight there. Blowout candle gives you all the indication you need. Hey, kind of need to let this thing go for sure. So just kind of waiting for your setup, man. That's it's beautiful. I kind of talked about Walmart. Let's bring up Comcast. We've been talking a lot about Charter as competitor Comcast. We'll bring it to the front of the classroom here. So downtrend, we can tell that by we kind of put the weekly moving averages, kind of folded it over here with these. Kind of what you like to see right here. Nice buy, following by a sell. Take that 3-day, 4-day trade to the downside. It worked out pretty well. It's still on a squeeze though, so we're hoping to see potentially another setup right here at support. That'd be really nice to take and rotate it to the downside. Knee, not much going on there. XOP, energy, right, in a very tight spot. Most of these you're going to see are going to kind of be right next to the moving averages, because previously, before we developed the system, we were just looking to kind of guesstimate, hey, it's in this strike zone, so to speak, and we could potentially take the play in the direction of the trend. We might have been negative. So as you pull back into the strike zone, you would take the play to the downside. Well, what do you do when it does something like this, right? You don't really know. You have an idea, but if it's coming into the strike zone and it just kind of keeps going, well, what do you know? Like, how do you know, right? So we wanted a better system. We already talked about Home Depot. We already talked about these things are moving around in here. accelerate here. Something that also we are looking to go ahead and scale into as well. Real estate's not going anywhere anytime soon. I do believe they'll figure it out and recover. And the market's going to adjust. The real estate market typically adjusts 3 to 6 months after the overall market. So it lags 3 to 6 months after the market, which is to be expected, right? Just like in my previous example with the gold. If you're buying gold, you could buy $1 million of gold like right now. But to buy $1 million of house takes some time. And by its nature, that's why the price doesn't rise and fall as fast as it should for the time the prices to get adjusted in. As Raytheon, here's Raytheon here. Doing pretty good, mind you. To take a buy off for some Raytheon there. So, yeah, Raytheon doing pretty good. Nice little push. This red candle got washed. Totally expected it to keep going, and it did. Nice pullback there. So yeah, from a long-term bias perspective, you can see when something pulls back, it gives you a nice benchmark to say, okay, I have a risk profile now. This candle is my risk profile. I can buy it, breaks above that. These sellers are offsides, and if they are right and I'm wrong, I'll just sell when they're confirmed to be right. That's just it. I mean, it's that simple. You should almost make it robot. It doesn't have to be any more than that. I don't, people make it complicated. Don't know why. We're not going to make it complicated. We're going to keep it simple and just make money. That's pretty much that on that. So go back to go back to the cues here. Now that the gap's the gap is pretty much filled there. It did actually red bar ignored that puppy, kind of go bear flag and then push. What next, right? This is where the interesting part of the market. Get the whole going immediately green, and now it's red. So do we pull back to VWAP? What's the play really? I would say you just kind of wait and see. Maybe you get out another outsized candle, red momentum to the downside here. These massive amount of sellers are looking to get paid here, so we'll see what happens. These are really people as buy to close the gap. These are people liquidating their positions in mass, and then some laggards. So we'll see if we can get some support for some additional buying. But I think it'll play back to VWAP in the process. Man, I am super yawny today. I don't know what the heck is going on. Yeah, I'm expecting them to pull back to VWAP. After the gap close, that was like the smartest play for today. And then when you see the outsized candles here, kind of stacked red, one and then one red, gray, then one another red, and then one candle washes that, highly probable that it will fill the gap. And we've talked a little bit about gap plays as well. Hop over to the SPY, see what the SPY is doing. So kind of closing the gap as well. Running up into some resistance. there at that purple line, that 560 61 level. So just kind of watching that. Fully expecting it to pull the VWAP or have VWAP kind of give it a nudge if we're going to continue higher. But we could probably more likely going to rotate to the downside. That's my hypothesis. If you get VWAP and you see a setup, then you could take that setup. But totally expecting for it to kind of catapult to the downside. At least a VWAP. Charter kind of tracking with the overall market. Nice gap fill, so to speak, but is pulling back, very similar to the market with its whole going green immediately in the morning and pulling back. Showing relative strength though, because the way it opened, it wasn't open. It didn't open necessarily below its close. It opened right at the previous open. So pushing up and then pulling back. But still currently still positive, still green. So kind of liking that. Might not stay that way though. We'll see. So we're kind of watching it kind of trend, glide sideways slash down, um, slowly peeling down. Um, just got to be patient here and wait for a setup. Nice little push slap. Loving it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. It's also going green. We like to see that as well. I'm taking that bear flag by. Going balanced on the day. I'll watch though pre-market or after-market highs is if it's gonna push, probably target that first ledge there at 474. No battery. So what we'll do is we'll have to call it because this thing dies pretty quick. So guys, thank you so very much. You guys are awesome. And yeah, just keep tracking the markets, keep tapping in every day, and it will bring some amazing plays and an amazing system on our fire journey. So thank you guys. Have an awesome day. Take care and goodbye.